Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your friend Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher. The first step to creating the life of your dreams is to create a clear and compelling vision for what you want for the future. I'll be guiding you on visualization meditation so you can get clear on your deepest desires. Let's get started so you can turn your vision into a reality. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. It's your gal pal Sasha. And to paint the scene for you right now, I'm currently in my hotel room in Bangkok, and I'm leaving in 2 hours. I'm just gonna take my time, record, pack up, and leave. So, the last time we had a chat, I was in San Francisco. I had just gotten my phone stolen and my wallet stolen, and I was about to leave for the next leg of my trip, which, surprise, I'm in Asia. The day I got all of my stuff stolen, earlier that day, Monsieur 66 had his first trip to America, and he was in Denver. It happened to be Saturday. I asked him when he was leaving, he said Sunday, and in my head, he was saying next Sunday and not the next day. Also, it so happened that my really close friend texted me. She's outside of Denver, and she texted me asking me to come hang out. So I was like, oh, wow, like Monsieur 66 and my close friend in Denver are both there. Maybe I should go. I was like 90% ready to go. I realized that Monsieur 66 was actually leaving the next day. I went from 90% going to 50% going, and I was like, am I really going to make this decision off of a boy? I was like, no, it's not. That's not what's happening. So I ended up booking a ticket to Colorado, and I was literally going to be there from Wednesday to Saturday. And so I booked it on Saturday, and then that night, all of my stuff got stolen. So I had to ship everything to Colorado. So I was without a phone and without a wallet for a couple of days. And then when I got to Colorado, my friend had a pile of packages for me when she picked me up from the airport. And when I say that getting to Colorado was like a warm hug mixed with a breath of fresh air, it just felt so good to be there. It's funny that I've been kind of going to Colorado to visit this friend about once a year for the last 2-3 years. And it's really cool to connect with her and her group of friends. And I feel like I really fit in with her group of friends. I really love them. And I happen to see them once a year. So every time I see them, it's like, hey, what have you been up to for the last year? What's going on? And then when they ask me about my updates, I'm like, yeah, so right now I'm traveling full time. I went through a breakup. My whole life has changed. I'm just living my life, whatever. Honestly, it just felt really, really good to be in the presence of loved ones like that. And it felt so good. And then once I got my stuff too, I was finally in the groove. And listen, not having my phone and wallet really put a delay on my planning for this leg of the trip because I didn't have anything booked. I had my flight booked to Asia, but I did not have hotels booked or activities booked or anything. The day before I left for Thailand, I was booking my hotels and my activities and all of that. I'm still planning the next leg of the trip. So today I have to book some activities for the next couple of days and just see what I'm into, see what the vibe is. Since getting to Colorado, I've been in a really great headspace and I've been feeling really, really good. And since getting to Thailand, I've been feeling really good. I have been thinking about my ex more on this leg of the trip. While we were seeing each other, but before we were actually dating, he came to Thailand however many years ago. When I heard about this trip for the entirety of our relationship, he talked so fondly about Thailand. And being here makes me think about him. I think about his trip here, and I think about how much he enjoyed it and how much he loved it. And he's been on my mind once in a while, and he does come up. Even traveling here, I had a flight from San Francisco to Seoul, South Korea. And in 2020, my ex and I traveled to Bali together, and we flew to South Korea and to Seoul. I don't know if you know this, but South Korea will pay for you to take a tour if you have a layover longer than 6 hours. So when we had our layover, when we went to Bali in 2020, we were going to take a tour, but we got into a scooter accident. So my ex was limping at the time and we couldn't go. So we spent a lot of time in the Seoul airport, and being there really reminded me of him. And even just the flight on Korean Air really reminded me of him because their food is so good. And I just remember taking that flight with him in 2020, and they gave us bibimbap and then laminated instructions on how to eat it. And it was just so funny. And then there was this snack that they had, this pizza pocket. And I just remember my ex loving that snack. And it reminded him of his childhood school days. And they had that food again. They had the bibimbap and they had the pizza snack. And I just remember eating it and thinking about him and being oh man, I remember that trip. And It was such a great trip. It's something I had a chat about in the last episode where grief is just love with nowhere to go. I've come to terms with my grief over my relationship and understanding that I will probably miss and love my ex forever. I will probably love him and miss him until the end of time. There are moments where that comes up. For example, my flight to South Korea or my time at the Seoul airport and my time here just reminds me of him. And it just comes up, and honoring that and being like, "Oh, wow, man, like, we really did have a great relationship. We were very happy, and I do miss and love him, and that's okay. That's okay, because grief is just love with nowhere to go." And when this grief comes up about that, or when he does come to mind, just making it apparent to just think about him, send him good energy, send him good vibes, send him love, and just let it go. And I'm okay with that. And it feels nice to be in this place now where I could miss him and love him, but it's not ruining me. It's very much so there, and it's always gonna be there, and I'm okay with that. Just coming to accept that. That's where I'm at in terms of the breakup emotionally. The transit itself from Denver to Thailand actually took a long time. Like, it was Denver to San Francisco to Korea, Korea to Thailand, and overall, I think it was somewhere between 30 and 35 hours total. I spent the whole weekend flying, and people are like, "How long's your transit time?" I honestly stopped looking at flight times because it's just not worth it. Like, I'm like, over 10 hours, less than 10 hours, I don't know. I'm like, I'm watching movies, I'm working, I'm sleeping, I'm just hanging out. So it's been feeling really good. And basically, I have not had any substances for about a week now, which has been feeling really good. I've had a beer or a glass of wine here and there, and I haven't had any sort of substances for about a week. Honestly, it feels really good. I've been in a really good headspace. I've been meditating daily since I've been here. I've just been basically getting up, sometimes going for a workout, going and doing a tour, coming back. I'm working poolside from 4 to 6 or 4 to 7, and then coming back to the hotel room and working again from 6 or 7 until 11 or 12. And that's been my schedule for the last 3 days since I've been here. It feels really good. I really enjoy having work either be in the morning and having the afternoons free, like when I'm on the West Coast, or having the days free and the evenings to work. I feel like I get a much better work-life balance when I have a lot of spare time. When you work 9 to 5 or 10 to 6, it cuts your entire day and you can't really do much before or after. Like, you can still squeeze in things. Like, you can still get a workout in the morning and hang out with a friend in the evening, but it's really cramped and I don't like it as much. So it's just something for me to note as I'm figuring out where I want to live. I'm working on France hours right now. I'm starting at the same time as France and like ending around that same time, because that's when the French team works. I feel like, just to give you guys updates in general about everything that's happening. I mean, if we're gonna go down the boy route, I can give you a little bit of story with the guy I hooked up with at Burning Man. I didn't think I was gonna talk about boys on this podcast, but truthfully, not a ton has happened in the last week beyond like me showing up in Thailand. I'm honestly just really enjoying my time. I'm enjoying my time alone, just quality time with myself, seeing this beautiful country and working and just really immersing myself. The last leg of my trip, the Asia leg. I think what I'm going to do on this episode is give you guys just general updates about things that are happening in my life. Before we get into that, I will tell you the story around the guy at Burning Man. The only reason I'm telling this story is because there's a little bit of drama that happened last night, so I feel like this kind of top of mind awareness, and we could chat about what the hell happened. Let's call him Mr. Burning Man. I arrived at camp, and there was this really, really cute Finnish guy. My camp is like a Finnish sauna camp. When I met this guy, like, it was very cool, very platonic, and there was another girl. Call her like French braids, okay? There was this girl, French braids. On the first day, she told me, she's like, "Oh, I'm into this guy. I'm into Mr. Burning Man. I'm gonna go on a playa date with him one night." And I was like, "Oh, cool. You've been feeling vibes with him?" And she's like, "Yeah, I have been." I was like, "Okay, great." And after that, I was like, girl code. Like, she kind of called dibs, and I was like, all right, like, I don't really care. Like, I'm here to enjoy my own thing. Burning Man's huge. I'm not really trying to hook up with anybody. That's not my intention here. So I just kept to myself, and I just did my own thing. And she was actively pursuing Mr. Burning Man the whole week, asking him to hang out and asking if she could kiss him and asking blah, 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 really pursuing him. And he, in the meantime, is also pursuing me. So he was asking me to hang out one-on-one and all of these things. We kept it very platonic. Like every time I hung out with him, we just had a good time. Nothing happened. So one of the nights I ended up hanging out with Mr. Burning Man all night. We stayed out till sunrise. Nothing happened. We were just keeping it chill, platonic, whatever. And this girl, French Braids, was so rude to me the next morning. She was very mean to me. And I knew what it was about. I knew that she found out that I had stayed out all night with him, even though nothing happened. She came to me the next day and she's like, listen, I was really rude to you and I'm very sorry. I thought something happened. And I was like, nothing happened. We were just chilling, whatever. That was that. Basically, this whole time, I could tell she's very into him and he's neutral to her. And I'm just like, I'm doing my own thing. I don't care. I'm just not trying to get into love triangles. I'm not trying to get into any drama. I don't care enough about this guy. I don't care enough about this girl. I just met them. Whatever. I'm not trying to get into any drama. After the burn, our camp went to Lake Tahoe for a decompression period for a couple of days. This girl, French Braids, was not there, but Mr. Burning Man and I were both there. I had my own room. I would be working from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, and then every day he'd be like, hey, what are you doing after work? And I'd be like, oh, I'm not sure yet. Like, I'll probably just go wander. My favorite thing to do is to go and wander. And he was like, oh, well, do you want to go do this today or go do that today with me? And I was like, sure. So every day he would be waiting around for me. He'd go do his own thing, go do runs, whatever. And then at 2 p.m., he and I would go hang out. This happened like the days we were there. And again, nothing was happening. We were just keeping it platonic, keeping it very chill. One of the days, this girl like planned on coming to the Airbnb and he and I were out on a hike and she's blowing up his phone, like sending him super long texts and a ton of texts and calling him, and he's just not into it. And we're sitting there like having a great time. I'm painting with strangers and on hikes and just having the best time. And this girl's blowing up his phone and he just doesn't care. Turns out she's going to hang on the Airbnb that night. So that night she's hanging on the Airbnb, giving him the cold shoulder. She's great with me. We're fine. And then they go out and they have a conversation for an hour about basically the fact that he was telling her like, hey, listen, I'm not into this. And letting her down. I went to sleep. Like, I didn't hear much about it. The next day, same thing happens. He invites me to go out after work. I said, sure. We went to the beach and we're just chilling. And finally, at the end of the day, he's like, may I kiss you? And I'm like, sure, cool, sounds good. And, made out. That was that. And ended up hooking up with him. And it was fine. Like, said goodbye. Have not really spoken to him since. Have no feelings about this man. Truthfully, it just made me miss Monsieur 66 that much more. Basically, this girl, French Braids, texted me last night, and she is asking me to go on a scuba diving trip with her next year. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. And basically, I sent her a voice message because it just didn't feel right for me to have hooked up with this guy that she had a crush on, and then her try to pursue a friendship with me and then not say something about that. That's just not my vibe. But also at the same time, I don't know this girl. I don't know this guy. They don't know each other. We're all single. So like everything is kind of fair game. He already let her down. Nothing happened with the two of us until he had a full ass conversation with her about not being interested in her. So everything was by the book. Everything was fair. No one was doing anything shady here. I sent her voice messages. I'm like, listen, I just want to be transparent and honest and upfront with you about what happened. I'm not trying to hurt you. If we're going to pursue any sort of friendship, I need to be honest about this. And she sent me a voice message back being like, I appreciate your honesty and you have guts to tell me, but what you did was really immature. And if you really wanted to be friends with me, you wouldn't have hooked up with him. And I don't want to be friends with you. Bye. And I was like, okay, girl, do your thing. Wish you the best. Good vibes your way. Good energy your way. I respect your boundaries and I respect and understand where you're coming from completely. So I told her, have a great life, basically. A little bit of drama there. The one thing is, I don't think what I did was immature at all because all three of us are single. None of us really know each other. I didn't really go for this guy. He was pursuing me. And it's not like this girl and I were best friends. It's not like she and this guy were dating. It's not like they had any sort of thing. She did have this expectation that once they had any sort of romantic interaction, that they'd be exclusively having a romantic interaction for the whole Burning Man. But let's be real, it's Burning Man, okay? Like, you're really trying to have an exclusive hookup at Burning Man? That doesn't seem logical. I think what I did, everything was above board, and I'm really okay with it. I respect the fact that she doesn't want to be friends with me. That's totally fair. She, like, low-key called dibs on a guy, and after he let her down, I hooked up with him. Honestly, observing another girl's behavior with this guy really reminded me about why girls have challenges with guys. I think there's this air of desperation and this clinginess that's not cute. If you're actively pursuing a guy and blowing up his phone and assuming that you guys are gonna be exclusively hooking up after you kiss him one time, it's not a cute look. No one wants that. And it's not a huge turn on for the guy. I feel like my approach with men is typically, I'm just doing my own thing. I'm just living my own life. I know if a guy's actively interested in me, I know he will come and pursue me. And if that's the case, then I will see if that's something I'm interested in. And if I'm interested in it, I'll pursue it. And if it's not, then I won't. And that's how I approach it. I'm not really going out of my way to go and chase and be desperate. That's not really my vibe. That's not really what I'm into. And I know you guys don't know the history about what happened with my breakup, and it's not something I want to talk about publicly at this time, but the feeling of not feeling desired is something that was really prominent with me in my last relationship, and I just never want to feel like that again. So I'm very careful to not chase somebody that's not interested in me because I just don't want to put myself in a situation where I feel undesired ever again. And I won't. I had to learn through my experience, through my relationship where I was feeling undesired was complete BS. The truth is, I am a very desired and desirable person. I enjoy my own time with myself and I enjoy my time with other people. If people desire me, great. And if they don't, great. But I'm not going to go chasing and begging for someone's time and attention when they're just not interested. I did that in my relationship. I'm not going to do that ever again. So I do think it's a lesson for girls. If you're trying to get a guy or if you're trying to do this or do that, my advice is just stop. Just stop. Stop chasing. Focus on your damn self. Focus on yourself. Enjoy your own company. Enjoy your own time. Spend time with your friends, with your family. Invest in hobbies. Invest in making yourself better. Boys are just boys. Don't waste your time on them, truthfully. When we go around chasing and chasing and chasing, like, we push them away. Their whole quote around manifestation where it's like, I attract, I don't chase. It's so true. Work on yourself and attract what's aligned for you. Don't go out and chasing it. It's okay to be clear about what you want, and it's okay to be clear about what you want in a partner and what you want in a career and what you want in your life. It's a matter of getting clear about what you want and putting it out there and taking action to get there, but not chasing it from a point of desperation because you're just pushing it further and further away. And it's not just a lesson for boys, I think it's a lesson for life as well. I think it's a mistake a lot of girls make with guys is that they're just chasing, chasing, chasing instead of going internal, focusing on themselves, focusing on how they can improve their own lives, their own beings, and then allowing whoever is aligned for them to come and be attracted to that and just come to them. So that's my PSA for those girls out there who are looking for somebody and chasing. Like, my advice is just stop. Focus on your damn self. So that was the drama there with Mr. Burning Man and Miss French Braids. We're not friends anymore. I have not spoken to Mr. Burning Man. I don't have any intention to. I don't have any desire to. Truthfully, I've been missing Monsieur 66 a lot. It's been exactly a month since I left France. So a little over a month since I said goodbye to him. And today was the first day we've spoken on the phone. I've actually heard his voice and I really do miss him. I didn't expect to fall for somebody, and I'm really glad that we set up boundaries when we first started getting involved with each other about the fact that neither of us could get into a relationship and neither of us are in a space to do that. But then we both developed feelings. The nice thing about this is he and I are really similar in a lot of ways, and I know we feel the exact same way about the situation. And it's not that we've talked about it. I just know. I just know that he misses me. I know he's thinking about me. I know that we want to spend more time together, but now's not the time. And maybe we'll spend time together at some point during this leg of the trip. But for now, we're just texting once in a while. It's unspoken. We have a conversation going and just reply whenever. And when you do reply, it's 8 to 10 texts about 4 different ongoing conversations. But it might be like once every other day or something. It's not all the time. And we're not up each other's asses all the time. It's really nice to have my own space to grow and to be my own person. I love that he has that space as well. We both have the space to work on our own things and do our own things. If this becomes something more than that, cool. And if it doesn't, cool. But for now, all I know is that I miss him. I didn't want to talk about boys on this podcast as much, but truthfully, and there's a lot going on in general, but that's kind of what's been top of mind because of all this drama with the Burning Man guy and me talking to Monsieur 66 this morning. As far as my time in Asia goes, I've been here 4 days. Today's my 4th day, and I'm just really enjoying my time. I'm enjoying my own company, learning to just be present. I'm finding this work-life balance. As far as like other updates in my life, this is something I'm going to talk about more on the Mastermind Moments podcast. So if you haven't listened to that, go ahead and listen. My career is somewhere where I'm feeling like it's that final push before the next level. I feel like I'm playing a video game and I'm right at the end of one level and I'm about to level up. And I feel that way with my podcast and I feel that way with my 9-to-5 job. And I've had conversations with my boss for my 9-to-5 job, and they're kind of sitting out for me being like, listen, wherever you want to take your career, wherever you want to take this role, we will take you there. Just tell us where you want to go. And it's such a beautiful place to be in. And I'm so grateful to be in this place where I'm at a company where I love my team. I love the company. I love the mission. I really care about its growth. I really see a future with this company, and I really know this company is going to grow, and I love being a part of it. I love the fact that I've been here since the beginning, and I want to spend some time seriously thinking about where do I want to take this role? How do I want to grow at this company? And what does that even look like? I haven't spent a lot of time sitting down and thinking about that. Truthfully, I'm waiting for my period because reflection is the best time when you're on your period. It's when you're closest to your nature and it's when you're closest to your truth. I put off reflection about things until I'm on my period. It's not best to do it before your period because you're PMSing and naturally more self-critical. But I do think when you're in your period, it is the best time to reflect. So I'm putting that off until then. And with the podcast, I feel really excited about the growth there. I'm really enjoying this daily vlog series. I'm really loving working with my intern and with my friend on building the social media and growing it. And I'm just enjoying making everything. I'm enjoying the process of it. There's a lot of things I've learned from starting a business. And one lesson that keeps coming up and up again is everything is figure outable, but it's how can I innovate? How can I improve? How can I add more value? Asking yourself that question over and over again and just leveling up each time. So like, how can I innovate the podcast? How can I innovate the social media content? How can I add more value to the listeners? How can I add more value to the audience? How can I add more value in general? How can I give more? How can I come up from a place of service and from a place of inspired action? So I'm sitting on everything and thinking about how can I innovate? How can I improve? I feel like I'm right at the cusp of huge breakthroughs in my career. And I've been working relentlessly for over a year at this point on the podcast and the 9-to-5 job. And I just feel like I'm right on the edge of greatness. I feel like 1-2 more pushes and I'm going to see huge growth in both of my roles. And I do think financially rewards will come accordingly when those jumps happen. Finances, like, I'm doing okay, manifesting more money, being in Asia is a little bit cheaper. The European leg of my trip was on the pricier side, mainly because I was paying rent while I was in France. So one of the top questions I get about traveling full time is, how the hell do you pay for it? I'm an open book about money. With friends and family, I will talk so openly. I'll tell you how much I make. I'll tell you how much is in the bank. I'll tell you everything. Like, I don't care. I think talking about money is so important because it's something that's such a hush-hush topic. And I feel that way about a lot of hush-hush topics. I feel that way about talking about sex and about money and about politics and religion. I think it's important to talk about these things because at the end of the day, it's something we're all experiencing. And when we share our opinions with open hearts and open minds, it allows us to connect deeper and it allows us to learn from other people's perspectives. The top question I get is, how are you paying for this, right? So let's be real. When my ex and I split up, he and I were living together and we just re-signed our lease. My name is still on the lease until December. So I'm still legally a Florida resident until at least December. Then I have to decide where the hell I'm going to move my legal address, which is a whole separate issue. So since November, I don't have to pay rent anymore. I don't have to pay rent. I don't own a car. I don't own anything. I gave my ex all of the furniture, all of my possessions. The only possessions I brought with me to my parents' house were all of my clothing and 5 boxes of stuff, books and knickknacks and just my random stuff. And I gave all my plants away. I left all the furniture there. I left all the appliances there. Like, I left everything. And these were things that I accumulated from college and from post-college. And it was all my stuff. And I gave it to him. I was like, take it, please. The furniture we bought together because when we moved to Miami, we sold everything we owned in New York and bought new stuff. But the furniture we owned together, he paid my portion of it. And that's that. So I'm not paying rent anymore. I don't have a car. The only bill I have to pay is my credit card bill. That's it. So as long as I keep my expenses below how much I make, I'm fine. Typically, the highest cost for me is accommodations. So if I'm staying with friends and family, it cuts a huge cost of accommodations. And obviously, I'm like taking people out for dinner and I'm making sure I'm gifting everybody things. And if I'm buying food or souvenirs or whatever, which, by the way, I'm not buying souvenirs because I have zero space. I'm traveling with a carry-on and a personal item, and that's it. The only souvenirs I'm allowing myself to buy are jewelry and t-shirts from tennis things, just random sleep shirts, because I find that when I'm traveling, the things I want the most are comfy clothes. I have comfy clothes for the airport, but you want separate comfy clothes to hang out in the hotel or hang out at home. Like, you don't really want to wear the airport hoodie in bed. So I have like comfy clothes I'm buying, and that's all I've been buying souvenir wise. The only other thing I'm spending money on are activities and things to do. So I'm not really paying money for these huge expenses that most people have. My only bill is my credit card bill, and if I'm paying that, I'm good. I make enough to cover my credit card bill. Have I dipped into my savings a little bit? Yes, but also I've maxed out my 401k, so I'm contributing like almost 40% of my paycheck to savings of different kinds. So my 401k and my regular savings, I'm contributing a lot of my paycheck to future me. So I am dipping into savings a little bit because I'm saving so much elsewhere that I'm like, well, I can dip into savings because I'm saving elsewhere. So I have been dipping into it a little bit, but I'm also just like, when am I going to do this again? When am I going to have a working gap year? And when am I going to be all over the world just following whatever I want to do for fun? My goal and intention this year was to have as much fun as possible and grow from the experience of pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. Those were the two focuses for this year. And I have an intention to surrender to the experience of what this year and this life have to offer. If I'm just following my bliss and I'm just following doing whatever I want to do just because it's fun, like, when am I going to do this again? Spend the money, go to the concert, take the tour, go to the fancy restaurant, do the activity, do the bungee jump, do the thing. Because when are you going to have this time again? Time is so precious and everything is so temporary, and I really want to take advantage of this moment and this year and this life. And the best way to do that is to just go and experience everything. I'm never going to regret spending the money on doing the Sydney Harbor Bridge climb, or going scuba diving for the first time, or doing a bungee jump, or going to the Unwell Spring Break event, or going to Rio for 2 weeks and doing a surf lesson, or doing a food tour in Thailand. I'm never going to regret that. I'm never going to be like, oh man, I really missed the $200, $300 I spent on this activity. No, I'm thinking about how much fun that activity was and how much fun I had and how much I grew from the experience of really just enjoying my life. So, what's next? I'm in Bangkok right now. I'm going to my next destination today. I will be there for a while, and then I'm moving around Asia for the next 2.5 months or so. And I'm really, really excited. I'm enjoying this leg of the trip. So I don't have a lot planned, which is a little bit overwhelming for me, but at the same time, I'll figure it out as I go. And right now, I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed with my work and my career and all of that, but that's just because like it's coming into my busy season at work. Things with the podcast are picking up, and I'm trying to figure out how can I innovate, how can I improve, and then also thinking about moving forward. If I want to pitch this podcast to networks and get it signed, how do I go about doing that, and how do I go about creating more value? I have a question for you guys, the listeners. How can I add more value to you? What do you like to listen to? What do you like to hear about? What kind of content do you like to see? What's working? What's not working? Do you have feedback for me? Because podcasting is very, very one-sided. I love these solo sessions. I love sitting down and chatting with you guys about what I'm going through. Honestly, it's an audio diary for me. People ask me if I'm journaling during this time. The answer is no. I am sitting down and talking into a mic. I'll journal occasionally, but for the most part, I'm just sitting down, talking to the mic about my experience, about my lessons, about where I'm going, about what I'm doing. It's really beautiful to look back on, and I'm enjoying it so much. For me, talking to the mic and editing and producing and posting this podcast is not work. It's just fun. And creating the content is fun. the strategy around the content can feel a little bit more like work, and trying to figure out the growth around the content feels a little bit more like work. But the podcast itself, like producing, editing, and creating this, feels like fun to me. Sitting down and talking into this mic is my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to do. I have no notes right now. I'm just ad-libbing for 20-30 minutes straight. And I really, really enjoy it. So right now, work is a little bit overwhelming and stressful. Planning the next legs of my trip are a little bit overwhelming and stressful because it's just a lot to do at once. There's just a lot on my plate, and I am spreading myself a little bit thin. But it's okay. It's just the season of life. There's a season for calm and routines and all of that, but then there's a season for really pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone and growing. And that's the whole point, is when you push yourself outside of your comfort zone, when you experience rupture, when you start your life over, you're basically wiping the slate clean and seeing who evolves from this season of life, who evolves from the challenges, who evolves from the growth. How do you grow? How do you improve? Who do you become in these moments of self-discovery in your evolution? And that's where I'm at right now. And all I have to say is just follow your bliss. I'm really excited for this next leg of my trip. I'm spending some of it with friends, some of it alone, some of it with a digital nomad group. I'm so excited for that leg of the trip. Truthfully, I'm just really, really excited. I don't know what's going to happen come December when I go back to the States. I have a Tony Robbins event, and then after that, I have no idea what I'm doing. All I know after the Tony Robbins event is I'm getting my nose done at some point, but I don't really know where I'm going to live. I don't really know where I want to go. There are 5 cities I would consider moving to permanently, or maybe I'll bop between the 5 next year. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, that's not for me to know. It's not for me to decide. My job right now is to be present and to enjoy and to grow and to learn and to push myself outside of my comfort zone, follow my bliss, surrender to the experience, and see how I evolve. And that's the intention. So anyway, I'm going to record one more meditation podcast. I'm going to drink my tea, eat mango sticky rice for breakfast, guys. And then I'm going to get on my flight to my next destination. Seriously, keep me updated on the feedback. I really want to hear about it. We'll catch you guys next week on the Visualize Meditations podcast. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. Please follow, subscribe, leave a review, all of the good things. If you want to connect more, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Living Your Vision. So what are you waiting for? Get out there, create the life of your dreams, and we will see you next week.